right, my goodness, another week has gone by. Yes, it's Coach Dave, because I know my name's up on the sign there. So, and this is indeed Accordion Cool, and we actually have a live studio audience today. Our good friend Richard has joined us. So, what can I say? I mean, with a vast audience like this. But anyway, that first tune was called Cute. Now, all the stuff that I did on the left hand with the bass, that's always done by the drummer. He didn't show up. I don't know where he is, but you know, these drummers, you can't depend on. So I had to do it myself with the bass. So hopefully everything came out all right, and we're set to go. But that tune was written, our theme today, of course, is I'm still back in the 60s. I can't believe how many great tunes came out of the 60s or were resurrected, shall we say, in the 60s. But that tune almost made it. It was written in 1958. But it was like the go-to jazz tune in the early 60s, a tune called Cute. And it was written by a fellow named Neil Hefti. Neil Hefti was a trumpet player with the great Count Basie Orchestra. Now, all the big bands had great players. Count Basie had like the cream of the crop. The best players in the business were in the Count Basie band. So Neil Hefti, like I said, he wrote a lot of other tunes. And he did a lot of the arrangements, and then they gave him the book, what they call the book. That's all the arrangements, all the parts for all the players in the band, and he rewrote the whole Count Basie book. Well, a few years went by, and Neil Hefti decided to start his own band, so he took the book with him, and he couldn't get musicians that could cut it. That's how great the musicians were in the Count Basie band. So Neil Hefti, Cute, 1958, but again, like I said, the biggest go-to jazz tune in the early 60s. Now this next tune actually did come from the 60s, very early, 1961, written by Henry Mancini from a movie. The movie is called Breakfast at Tiffany's. and it became a big hit. The song became a big hit. And now this song was written as a waltz. Now, you know, Coach Dave doesn't really play waltzes. I mean, they're nice, but they're, you know, they're too pristine and pretty. You got to be able to, you know, just throw some stuff at it. So I have taken this tune and I have redone it in 4/4 times so that we can do some stuff with it. Of course, Henry Mancini, if you heard this, he'd probably spin in his grave. But a little tune called, oh yeah, Moon River. Moon River, or Coach Dave's version of Moon River. But remember, I was on a gig a few years ago, and the lady asked if I could play Moon River, and I said, well, she says, it's my favorite song. And I says, yeah, he says, I can play it, but I'm not sure if you got to like the way I play it. She says, I don't care. She says, I like it played anyway. So I played it like that, and she was happy, I was happy, everybody was happy. It was a happy day. So, well, this next tune, again, you'll probably notice Coach Dave doesn't do a lot of country tunes. And when I do a country tune, it's like a traditional type country tune, not the stuff they're trotting out today and calling it country. Oh my goodness. But this tune came from 1965, and several people recorded it. And, you know, it went okay. The fellow named Tom Jones, remember Tom Jones? Tom Jones recorded this tune and had a huge hit on it. And he did it about a year later, 1966 or so. Now, it's, you know, as all with all country tunes, it's either about the truck won't start, the dog died, or my wife ran off with my half-brother or something. But this one tells the story of the fellow that's coming home. Unfortunately, he's not coming home for all the good reasons. It's for all the bad reasons. It's called The Green, Green Grass of Home. I guess the whole last verse tells the story, because he's imagining, you know, his home and his parents and everything, and his girlfriend, and then the whole last chorus is like, and now I awake and look around me, the four gray walls that surround me, and realize that I was only dreaming. And there's a God and a sad old padre, and arm in arm we'll walk at daybreak as they lay me beneath the green, green grass of home. But pretty tune. I always liked that tune, even though it was a country tune. But all right, well, let's go back to Henry Mancini. If I haven't annoyed him enough, well, let's try and annoy him with this next song. This also came from a movie, and the name of the song is the same as the movie. I mean, the song is called same as the movie. It's well, same name, you know. It's called Charade, and came from a movie called Charade. And it's again, it was a waltz. No, nay, nay, nay. Now I'm gonna do it four times. So here we go. A little tune called Charade. Charade. The movie was 1963, I believe, and if I recall, way back then when I saw the movie, it had a lot to do with Mount Rushmore and South Dakota, or so I don't know. It was kind of a mystery type movie. I guess that was the whole idea of the charade, you know, something that's not really real. So, Charade. Well, this next tune, 1965. I guess it was a German song, and somebody got it over to this country, and they must have changed the words or whatever. And this was, like I said, it was written in 1965. Some guy named, I can never think of this guy's name. He's not well known. Sinatra. Yeah, a guy named Sinatra had a big hit on this song, and Wasn't even a 40s jazz tune, a big band thing. It was just something written in 1960. He got a hold of it. He liked it. Says, I'm going to sing this song. And so he did. A little tune called The Summer Wind. The Summer Wind, Frank Sinatra, big hit for him. I guess the word on the street is Frank actually recorded something like 800 songs. I mean, he must have spent so much time in the recording studio, he just didn't have much time for drinking and carousing. You know, I mean, had to take a lot of his time. But can you imagine that 800 songs he recorded? Just about every song that was popular, I guess, during the, 30s, 40s, 50s, even into the 60s. Frank recorded it, so, and that was one of his hits. And like I said, it was just more of a pop song as opposed to like a big band or jazz thing that he would normally do. But I guess, you know, when you got the magic touch, doesn't make much difference what you do. Anyway, we're getting down towards the end of our time today. I'm going to close. This is another tune. Didn't quite make it into the 60s as far as being written. It was written around 1956. Another one from a movie, but it wasn't Mancini, so we're all set on this one. And the movie is called Around the World in 80 Days. A fellow named Phineas T. Fogg. I always remember that name. Jumped in a hot air balloon and, you know, circled around the world in 80 days. Again, was a jazz tune. I mean, jazz tune. Hello. Again, it was a waltz tune, and not nay. We're going to do it in 4/4 time. And I remember working teaching in a studio in the early 1960s. I think every kid that played the accordion was playing this tune. It was so popular. Into the 60s, because I guess it didn't have any words or lyrics, and they were all added later. So let's see if we can go around the world here and see what happened. Around the world. Well, you hear that funny little sound? That's called a scat, or a jazz scat. I'm not sure if I've played that here before, but I can't really see the control room when there's a camera right in the middle, and I didn't see Austin jumping up and down and yelling and screaming in there, so I guess I didn't catch him off guard with that. But yeah, we generally decide what I'm going to do beforehand, but I figure, what the heck, never mind. Well, I want to thank y'all for watching today and listening however you do get this show, and I'm going to say, bring those young'uns in, all those young'uns, the children, the grandchildren, nieces, nephews, whatever you got hanging around the house, because they don't hear this music nowadays. Not because I'm playing it, but because of the music itself. And so, give them a chance to hear something they're not going to hear on the radio. Or do kids still listen to the radio? I know, well, maybe they do. But anyway, whatever it is they listen to, they're not going to hear this music unless they watch Accordion Cool with their parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, and whatever. So, again, thank you all for watching. Thanks to our studio audience today. It's a tough ticket to get, so I'm glad everybody's able to get in. And let's take it home. Oh, I don't know. Let's do Around the World, and I won't do the jazz scat, I don't think.